The sun rose high over the naval training camp, casting a golden glow on the polished barracks and well-kept grounds. Today was a special day, buzzing with energy as the air filled with shouts of encouragement and the sound of boots marching in unison. 5,000 recruits lined up in perfect rows, their uniforms crisp and faces shining with determination. This was their moment to prove themselves in front of their fellow recruits. From early dawn, the recruits had trained tirelessly, eager to impress not only their trainers, but also the famed Admiral who was about to make an appearance. Whispers of excitement floated through the ranks as they speculated about what the Admiral would demonstrate today. Would he showcase his legendary combat skills? Would he push them harder than ever before? The anticipation was electric, sparking a feeling of unity among them all. As the hour approached, the recruits stood at attention, eyes fixed on the entrance of the training field. Suddenly, a loud horn blared, signaling that the Admiral had arrived. His tall figure strode into view, commanding immediate respect. The sight of him brought silence over the crowd, and all eyes focused intently on his every move. With a reputation for toughness and an unyielding attitude, he had made a name for himself as one of the fiercest leaders in the Navy. Beneath his stern exterior simmered a certain arrogance that many recruits noticed but dared not speak of. Today felt different, though. There was an unseen tension in the air that hinted at something unexpected. As he surveyed the eager faces before him, ready for whatever challenge he planned to unleash, one thought hung heavy. Today would be a day none of them would ever forget. The Admiral stepped onto the training field, and the atmosphere shifted instantly. With a height that seemed to overshadow everyone around him, he commanded attention without even saying a word. His uniform was impeccable, adorned with medals that glinted in the sunlight, each one representing a battle fought and won. The recruits could feel the power radiating off him as he walked, his boots striking the ground with purpose. Known for his strict discipline, the Admiral had earned a reputation that both inspired fear and respect among those who served under him. He expected nothing less than perfection and often pushed his recruits to their limits. Many had heard stories of his intense training methods, long hours of grueling exercises, harsh critiques, and little room for error. Some recalled how he once made an entire squad run laps until sunset for a minor mistake. Despite this, the recruits admired his unwavering commitment to making them better sailors. Yet beneath that strong exterior lay a streak of arrogance. The Admiral believed he was always right and seldom listened to others' opinions. This attitude often led to tension between him and those who dared to voice their thoughts. He thrived on being in control and enjoyed showcasing his strength during training sessions, but many sensed there was more to him than just discipline and toughness. As he surveyed the rows of eager recruits before him, a smirk played across his lips. He reveled in their anticipation while secretly enjoying the authority he wielded over them. Little did they know that today would not only test their limits, but also challenge his own beliefs about strength and leadership in ways he never expected. As the Admiral stood before the recruits, he scanned the rows of eager faces, and a mischievous glint sparked in his eyes. With a sudden, commanding voice, he called out, "I need one volunteer to demonstrate true strength and skill today." The words echoed across the training field, and a hush fell over the crowd. The recruits exchanged nervous glances, unsure of what to expect. Then, with a boldness that surprised even herself, a young female recruit named Sarah stepped forward. She had trained hard for this moment and was determined to prove herself. The Admiral smirked, clearly amused by her courage, perhaps underestimating her abilities. "You think you can challenge me?" he asked mockingly, raising an eyebrow. The recruits watched intently as Sarah nodded firmly. The tension in the air thickened as whispers spread through the crowd. Some thought she was brave. Others believed she was foolish for stepping up against such a formidable figure. Ignoring the murmurs, Sarah took her position on the mat, ready to show what she was capable of. The Admiral approached with an air of confidence, his imposing figure looming over her. "Let's see what you've got," he said, his tone dripping with condescension. He launched into an aggressive attack, aiming to showcase his dominance and intimidate not only Sarah, but all the recruits watching. But as he charged at her, Sarah quickly dodged and countered with surprising agility. What started as a display of arrogance quickly transformed into an unexpected challenge. With each move, Sarah demonstrated her training, skillfully evading his attacks while maintaining her focus. The recruits held their breath, witnessing a battle that would test both their limits and the Admiral's belief in his own superiority. Sarah had always dreamed of being part of the Navy, inspired by stories of bravery and honor from her grandfather, a decorated sailor. Growing up, she trained in martial arts where she learned discipline and focus. For years, she practiced diligently, often training alone in her backyard under the watchful eye of her supportive family. They encouraged her to push her limits and never back down from a challenge, which laid the foundation for her strong spirit. When she joined the naval training camp, Sarah was eager to prove herself among her peers. She quickly understood the high expectations and rigorous demands placed on recruits. While many struggled to keep up with the Admiral's tough training methods, she embraced each challenge with determination. She spent long hours perfecting her skills, running laps, and participating in combat drills that tested her endurance and strength. Through it all, Sarah found solace in knowing that hard work would pay off. Despite the Admiral's reputation for being ruthless and unyielding, she remained undeterred, believing in herself and her abilities. Sarah knew that respect in the Navy was earned through courage and skill, not just fear. She had witnessed how the Admiral dismissed newcomers based on their mistakes rather than their potential. This fueled her desire to showcase what she could do. As she prepared for the confrontation with the Admiral, memories of her past experiences flooded her mind. Moments of triumph during training sessions and overcoming setbacks. With every ounce of confidence built from her journey, Sarah stepped onto the mat, ready to stand up against his arrogance. She was determined not only to defend herself, but also to show all 5,000 recruits that true strength comes from heart and perseverance. This moment was not just a fight. It was about proving that she belonged among them. The atmosphere on the training field grew thick with anticipation as Sarah faced the Admiral, both of them poised for the confrontation. The recruits watched with bated breath, their hearts pounding in unison. As they stood in rows, a mix of excitement and anxiety rippled through the crowd. Whispers echoed among them, with some urging her on, while others feared for her safety against such a powerful opponent. Sarah's heart raced as she locked eyes with the Admiral, feeling the weight of the moment. She could sense the tension rising not only between them, but also among the onlookers. It was more than just a demonstration. It felt like a battle for respect and validation that would resonate throughout the camp. Every recruit understood that this duel would become a defining moment in their journeys. The Admiral smirked, his confidence unshakable as he stepped toward her with a practiced gait. He had faced countless opponents before, and his reputation as a fearless fighter loomed large over the recruits. As he sized Sarah up, he clearly underestimated her determination and skill. With each passing second, Sarah felt an electric charge in the air. It was as if everyone was holding their breath in anticipation of what would happen next. When the Admiral made his move, charging at Sarah with surprising speed, gasps erupted from the assembled recruits. They flinched at the display of aggression, worried for her safety, but enthralled by the spectacle unfolding before them. Sarah sidestepped swiftly, her instincts kicking in as she evaded the initial attack. Cheers erupted from a few of her fellow recruits, who recognized her agility and poise under pressure. With every twist and turn, the stakes grew higher. This confrontation wasn't just about physical strength. It was a testament to courage against authority. As they danced around each other on the mat, both Sarah and the recruits realized this fight would forever mark their lives at camp. It was a moment where courage met challenge and respect hung in the balance. As the duel commenced, the Admiral lunged forward with impressive speed, showcasing his brute strength. Sarah, however, had anticipated his move. With a quick sidestep, she dodged his initial attack and countered with a swift kick aimed at his side. The Admiral barely registered the strike, but it was enough to make him take a step back, narrowing his eyes in surprise. The recruits gasped, their excitement mingling with anxiety as they witnessed the unexpected agility of the young recruit. Sarah's heart raced, but she focused on maintaining her composure. She remembered her training. Quick thinking and fluid movements were key to outmaneuvering someone as powerful as the Admiral. As he regained his footing and charged at her again, Sarah ducked low, narrowly avoiding a powerful swing aimed at her head. In that split second, Sarah's mind raced. She had to keep moving and thinking ahead. She spotted an opening as the Admiral overextended himself after his swing. Seizing the moment, she executed a well-practiced maneuver, a spinning kick aimed at his knee. The impact caused him to stumble slightly, drawing cheers from some recruits who began to rally behind her. But the Admiral quickly regained his balance and retaliated with renewed ferocity. He threw a series of punches, each one packed with strength that could easily overpower anyone less skilled. Sarah danced around him, her movements precise and calculated. She ducked and weaved, using every ounce of her training to evade his strikes while looking for opportunities to counterattack. Despite the Admiral's size and power, Sarah's determination shone through. Each time he charged at her, she found a way to evade him, displaying a blend of skill and agility that impressed the watching recruits. With every second that passed, it became clear. Sarah was not just fighting for herself. She was fighting for every recruit who had ever felt underestimated. The struggle was fierce, but her spirit remained unbroken as she continued to adapt and strategize against his overwhelming strength. As the duel progressed, the tension on the training field reached a boiling point. The Admiral, fueled by a growing frustration at Sarah's agility, began to launch a series of powerful attacks with increasing aggression. His punches came faster, and each strike was meant to intimidate and overpower her. But Sarah remained composed, her martial arts training kicking in as she observed his movements closely. In a pivotal moment, she noticed that he tended to overcommit on his swings, leaving him slightly off balance after each attack. Seizing this opportunity, Sarah decided it was time to turn the tide in her favor. With a deep breath, she anticipated his next move. As he swung a powerful right hook aimed at her head, she ducked low and pivoted on her back foot. In one swift motion, Sarah executed a technique called an ankle sweep, targeting the Admiral's feet. She crouched low and swept her leg out in front of him, just as he leaned forward. To everyone's shock, the Admiral lost his footing and toppled to the ground with a thud that echoed across the field. Gasps erupted from the crowd. Many couldn't believe what they had just witnessed. The Admiral quickly scrambled back to his feet, but appeared visibly shaken for the first time in their encounter. It was clear that he had underestimated her abilities. The recruits erupted into cheers, their excitement electrifying the air. This unexpected turn not only stunned the Admiral, but also ignited a fire within Sarah. Emboldened by her success, Sarah realized that she could match his strength with her skill and intelligence. With newfound confidence surging through her veins, she adopted a more aggressive stance, ready to take control of the fight. The crowd rallied behind her, chanting her name as she prepared for what came next. Not just fighting for herself anymore, but representing all those who dared to challenge authority and fight back against adversity. In that moment, both Sarah and the recruits understood. This was more than just a duel. It was a statement of empowerment that would resonate throughout their journey in the Navy. With the Admiral momentarily stunned from the ankle sweep, Sarah sensed the opportunity to strike decisively. She moved in closer, her heart pounding with adrenaline and determination. The crowd's cheers faded into a distant hum as her focus narrowed on her opponent, who was trying to regain his footing. As he stood up, anger flashed across his face, and he lunged at her once more, fists swinging wildly. But Sarah was ready. Drawing on her martial arts training, she anticipated his movements, sidestepping him with fluid grace. She quickly maneuvered behind him, wrapping her arms around his wrists in a classic technique designed to control an opponent. In one swift motion, Sarah twisted his wrists outward while pulling downwards at the same time. The Admiral's eyes widened in shock as he realized what she was doing. He attempted to break free with brute strength, but she was determined not to let go. With a fierce grip, she executed the move perfectly, an advanced joint lock that applied pressure on both wrists simultaneously. The sharp crack of bone echoed across the field as both wrists snapped under the force of her technique. A collective gasp surged through the gathered recruits, their disbelief palpable as they witnessed the Admiral fall to his knees in pain, his arrogance shattered along with his grip on control. Sarah released him immediately, stepping back and breathing heavily, pulse racing, but heart filled with triumph. She had done the unthinkable. She had proven not only her skill, but also that strength comes in many forms. The Admiral clutched his broken wrists, visibly shaken and humbled for the first time as he looked up at Sarah with a mixture of shock and respect. The recruits erupted into cheers and applause as they witnessed this dramatic moment of empowerment. It was a defining victory for Sarah, a testament to her dedication, training, and fierce spirit, serving as an inspiration to all her fellow recruits who had doubted their own abilities against authority. This showdown was not merely about physical strength. It symbolized a broader challenge against oppression and a celebration of courage that would resonate long after the duel ended. The moment Sarah successfully executed the joint lock, a stunned silence enveloped the training field. 5,000 recruits watched in disbelief as the Admiral fell to his knees, clutching his wrists in pain. Many stood frozen, their minds racing as they processed what had just happened. Some exchanged incredulous glances, while others covered their mouths in shock. It felt as if time had stopped, the unexpected turn of events catching everyone off guard. But this silence was fleeting. As the reality of Sarah's incredible achievement sank in, a ripple of excitement surged through the crowd. First came a single cheer, then more voices joined in, rising into a thunderous roar that filled the air. The recruits erupted in applause and shouts of encouragement, their disbelief quickly transforming into admiration. They couldn't believe what they had witnessed. A young recruit had taken down the fearful Admiral, a figure who loomed large in their imaginations. In that moment, Sarah became more than just a fellow recruit. She embodied courage and determination. Eyes lit with newfound respect swept across the arena as recruits began to rally behind her. It was as if a wave of empowerment washed over them all, inspiring even the most timid among them to realize that strength could come from anyone, regardless of rank or reputation. Among the cheers, some recruits shouted her name, chanting it like a battle cry. With every chant, more voices joined in, creating a movement that echoed throughout the camp. They no longer viewed her as merely a competitor. She was now a symbol of hope and resilience, reminding them that anyone could rise against adversity. As Sarah stood tall on the mat, pulse pounding with adrenaline and triumph, she realized her fight had sparked something much greater than herself. This was a pivotal moment in their training, a moment that would remind every recruit of their potential and transform how they approached challenges in the future. In the midst of cheers and admiration, their shared experience bonded them closer together as they collectively celebrated not just Sarah's victory, but their own strength as well. In the aftermath of the fight, the atmosphere in the training camp shifted dramatically. The once feared Admiral, now nursing his broken wrists, was no longer the unassailable figure he had always been. Instead, he became a cautionary tale among recruits, a reminder that even the strongest could be challenged. This change in perception rippled throughout the camp, sparking conversations about leadership and strength. Recruits began to question the traditional notions of power and authority they had been taught. Many who had previously felt intimidated by the Admiral's reputation now viewed Sarah's victory as a powerful endorsement of resilience and courage. They recognized that true leadership comes not just from physical might, but from the ability to stand up for oneself and others, regardless of rank. As days passed, Sarah became a celebrated figure among her peers. Her remarkable achievement inspired discussions about mutual respect and teamwork, encouraging recruits to support one another rather than merely fear those in command. The camaraderie that blossomed in those weeks shifted the dynamic of the training camp as recruits began to share their own stories of overcoming obstacles and challenges. Furthermore, Sarah's actions sparked a movement among the recruits to advocate for a more inclusive environment where every voice mattered. They realized that empowerment came from lifting each other up, rather than solely adhering to hierarchical structures. This newfound perspective instilled a sense of unity, turning the training camp into a space where everyone felt valued and capable of achieving greatness. The events of that day left an indelible mark, not only on Sarah, but on all 5,000 recruits. They learned that strength could manifest in many forms, and that courage often lies in standing up against oppression. The legacy of that confrontation lived on, inspiring future generations of sailors to approach challenges with confidence, empathy, and an unwavering belief in their own potential. Following her stunning victory, Sarah quickly emerged as a respected leader among her peers. The once quiet recruit who had bravely stepped forward to challenge the Admiral was now the embodiment of courage and determination. Her achievement resonated deeply within the training camp, transforming her into a powerful role model for fellow recruits who had faced their own challenges and insecurities. Recruits began to seek her out for advice and mentorship, eager to learn from her experiences and insights. Sarah's humility and approachability made it easy for others to connect with her. She often shared the importance of perseverance and hard work, reminding them that strength came in many forms, not just physical prowess. Her story inspired those who had previously felt overshadowed by the Admiral's authority, encouraging them to realize their potential. As days went by, Sarah organized informal training sessions where she taught self-defense techniques, fostering a supportive environment where recruits could build confidence and skills together. These gatherings transformed into powerful bonding experiences that reinforced teamwork and unity among the recruits. They no longer saw themselves as individuals striving to impress superiors. Instead, they became a cohesive group dedicated to uplifting one another. Sarah's influence also reached beyond her immediate peers. As she shared her journey through speeches during training assemblies, more recruits began to embrace vulnerability and openness about their personal challenges. This cultural shift encouraged others to speak up against bullying or intimidation, fostering a climate of respect and understanding throughout the camp. With each passing day, Sarah's role as a leader solidified further. Her actions not only changed how recruits perceived leadership, but also encouraged them to strive for authenticity in their roles as future sailors. Together, they learned that true strength lies in collaboration and mutual respect, an invaluable lesson that would shape their paths not only in the Navy, but also in life beyond the camp. As Sarah continued to inspire those around her, she knew this was just the beginning of a lasting legacy rooted in empowerment and resilience. The incident at the Naval Training Camp served as a powerful lesson in courage, resilience, and the importance of standing up against authority when necessary. Sarah's bold decision to challenge the Admiral not only marked a turning point in her own life, but also ignited a fire within her fellow recruits. Through her determination and skill, she demonstrated that true strength lies not just in physical power, but in the willingness to confront challenges head-on, regardless of the odds. The aftermath of the fight showcased how one individual's bravery could reshape perceptions of leadership. The recruits learned that it was possible to question authority and seek mutual respect rather than bowing to intimidation. In doing so, they realized the significance of supporting one another, understanding that every voice carries weight in fostering an inclusive environment. Sarah's journey became symbolic for all who felt powerless under strict leadership, inspiring them to embrace their abilities and recognize their potential. The experience also reinforced the idea that vulnerability can lead to strength. As Sarah opened up about her struggles and triumphs, it encouraged others to share their own fears and insecurities. This revelation enriched their camaraderie, turning their training not just into a physical endeavor, but a holistic experience where emotional support played an equal role. The recruits formed bonds based on empathy and understanding, propelling them toward personal growth and development. Ultimately, Sarah's victory inspired a shift in mentality throughout the camp. Recruits walked away with a renewed sense of self-belief and empowerment, equipped with the knowledge that standing up for oneself and others is both courageous and vital. This lesson transcended beyond military training. It resonated through their lives, teaching them that resilience is forged in adversity, and true leaders lift those around them. The legacy of that fateful duel continued to inspire future generations to approach challenges with confidence, compassion, and unwavering strength.